guys, welcome to this week's video. Again. I've got 3 locations to go to, the first of which is the old pier at sunrise. Clearly it's sunrise now and there's no light to talk of, but the tide is out. The tide is out. I was here yesterday with the group and the conditions were so different. The tide was all the way up, so I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to make of this today. Obviously long exposures, blending the sky into the sea, but the tide is so low you can see all of the debris from the original pier before obviously a couple of catastrophic events that leaves it like this. Now on a long exposure with all of the old pier, all of the crumbly bits on the surface of the sea might even make for something a bit more interesting than just a long exposure of the pier at high tide. I don't know. We're about to find out together though. Another couple of locations will follow shortly, so I'm not going to do too much at each location. Like I say, I just really wanted to squeeze this in before I started my Orkney videos, or my series of Orkney videos. And I'm only photographing this now because, well, I'm here and it would be very rude not to. So for my first composition, well, let's put you guys in camera. I'm going to make the pier quite small in the frame. Lots and lots of negative space. Absolutely love negative space. Play around with my polarizer. It's not doing too much, but it's doing enough. And that's it. Nothing any more complicated than that. Minimalism. Make the subject really small. There you go. 1/8 of a second. F10. ISO 100. Let's go F11. There you go. 1/8 of a second translates to 2 minutes. When I apply my 10-stop filter, 2 minutes, and away she goes. Shot number 1 in the bag. That's not too shoddy at all, looks really nice. A little bit of movement in the sky over the 2 minutes. But what I'm going to do now before I move the composition is I've closed the aperture by 1 stop, which means I can lengthen the shutter speed by the same 1 stop. So I'm going to grab another shot at 4 minutes just to see how the sky looks with a longer shutter speed. While I'm waiting for this 4 minutes, a couple of interesting facts about this place I actually checked and looked up last night. It was opened in 1866 and very sadly declined in popularity just after the Second World War. And in 1975 it closed down. And in 2003, very sadly, it was burned down due to an arson attack. Always screams out insurance claim when something is burned down purposefully, I think. It was the first British pier to be given a Grade 1 listing, and very sadly, it's now the most at-risk Grade 1 building in the whole of the UK. I mean, it's just a matter of time, isn't it, really? It's very sad. Great for us photographers, but it's very sad, really, I'm guessing, the whole situation here. But I suppose at the end of the day, it's become an iconic landmark on the horizon. It is what it is. But as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to photography, that's not too shoddy. It's really nice, you know. That sky is really nice on a 4-minute exposure. And because there's no breeze, there's no wind, the camera is rock solid on this tripod. That looks brilliant. That's tack sharp. Even lots of the birds duly obliged by sitting still for a whole 4 minutes. And looking at the debris in the sea, I don't know. One could argue that it adds to it. Now, because it's so different, I'm going to go against my own advice here. And I'm going to just photograph the pier itself quite close up. And I don't like doing that. I have this saying, never photograph a lone tree or a lighthouse. And what I mean by that is, what you don't want to do is to turn up at a location like this, zoom all the way in and just crop in and photograph a lone tree or a lighthouse. What you want to do is show the lighthouse or the lone tree in this incredible scene. But it does look very different, looks very iconic, and it's such a standout structure. And I suppose because every month or every year it's changing, I'm gonna zoom in fairly tight, and grab what I call a standard picture. Right, on to location number 2. And there's something very unusual about this location. I'm not actually 100% sure why I like it. This is just similar to just photographing groins, sticks in water. It's just an unusual shape, but there's a gate across, or 2 gates across the bottom. When you flatten that water out, the flat water through the gates look tremendous, look really, really nice. And again, the most important thing is symmetry, because it's going to be a very minimalistic shot. I've got to get the posts lined up perfect. That's not looking too shoddy at all. Very nice, in fact. Right, one more location to squeeze in, and it just so happens that it's about 500 yards in that direction, which is where the nudist beach is. It's just a coincidence, nothing anymore. This place is full of naked people, and I don't want to look out of place, so just give us a second. Really? Right, next location. A sea marker. Nothing any more than that. A sea marker. Now, I want to shoot this again at my minimalistic style, so I've got a choice. One is to go closer and just shoot 99% of nothing except the 1% of the marker, or there's rocks down here that I could use as foreground interest. Using the rocks as foreground interest won't render the picture as minimalistic, but will probably still be good. Well, it definitely will be good. Now, when you're faced with a conundrum like this, there's only one thing to do, and that of course is to shoot both and decide later. The tie-dye looks okay at the moment, so I'll shoot the image with the rocks in the foreground first. It's going to be quite problematic shooting this, because I'm shooting in that direction because I want to place the foreground bottom left and the marker top right, foreground background. But of course the sun is directly above my head to the left where I'm pointing. So therefore, the left-hand side of the frame is going to be a lot brighter. But I can't overexpose anything in the image, so therefore I have to expose for the brightest part of the frame, which is top left-hand side. But that's going to render the rocks a little bit too dark. Well, that's okay, that's fine, I'm happy with that. That 2-minute exposure is on its way. Now the tide is actually coming up and over the feet, but it doesn't matter here because it's not wet sand. It's a pebbly beach, so therefore I'm hoping that the tripod legs aren't going to sink. It is an incoming tide, so I will have to keep my eye on it. I will just take one shot and check it, and of course, if there is some slight movement there, I'll just move a little bit further back. Whoa! Shit! Maybe I need to move further back now. Got wet feet! Oh, what's the chances? Let me give you guys a bit of a brief update. I'm in Bracknell Camera Club tonight doing a camera club talk, but literally 2 days ago I've just returned from a lovely week-long trip away to Orkney. So I've got at least 3, possibly 4 videos banked for them, but I'm going to squeeze this one in now just because I was in the Brighton area, kind of, and it's an easy video to capture and it's an easy video for me to create. So after this one, I'm then probably going to work on my Orkney videos, but in 2 days time I'm sailing across to Ireland. I'm going to be in Ireland for a week, so I dare say I'll have 3 or 4 videos from there as well. So quite a few videos, fingers crossed, for you guys to look forward to coming up in the coming weeks. Right, I think that one's just about done and I'm finished here. So do me a favour guys, as always, help support the channel, give that like button a bit of a nudge. And if you're new here and you want to find your way back, especially because I've just mentioned about all those wonderful videos I've got coming up, he says, with a big smile and a big cheesy smile on his face. So do me a favour, yeah, I've already said it. I'll catch you legends on the next one. Let me know below what you think of these pictures today. Cheers.